Guys, we're back. If you feel like no matter how hard you're working and you're still broke, you're not crazy. It's 2025 and everything's crazy expensive. That's what it is. But here's the truth. A lot of people are going broke, not because they're lazy, but because they're stuck in financial traps that they don't even see. So today, I'm breaking down 5 things that are keeping people broke in 2025. But more importantly, how to break out of the cycle. The first reason is you treat normal life like it's affordable. You're trying to live a normal life in an economy that's anything but normal. Back in the day, a 9 to 5 could cover your rent or mortgage, your gas and your electric, groceries, a holiday once a year, and still leave room for savings. But in 2025, rent is up over 40% in some cities. Groceries are out of control. And minimum wage, it hasn't kept up. People are working just to survive. And the problem is, people are still spending like it's 2015. Weekly takeouts, multiple streaming services, brand new iPhones on payment plans, financing cars that they can't afford. And the list goes on. You got to understand though, a normal lifestyle is now a luxury. Like if you haven't adjusted, you're just burning money and you're just putting yourself in a dangerous position. So you're going to say, what's the fix? What's the fix? You need to redefine what normal looks like. That doesn't mean becoming a monk, although honestly, that will solve a lot of your problems. That's the kind of how I've been living the past few years. Low key, focus, and just keep it to myself. But let's talk reality. You need to live below your means, no matter how much money you're making. That means drive a used car that you can afford. Cook at home instead of eating out. Cancel those unused subscriptions because honestly, you'll be shocked what you're still paying for. And you may have to skip the holiday this year if you have to. Some of you are just not willing to do that. But it's about temporary sacrifices for permanent freedom. And trust me, it's worth it. The thing is, people will judge you. Friends, family, even people who care about you. But you'll find out real quick who truly supports your growth. But don't stress about that because your future self will thank you. Trust me. Number 2 is you rely on credit like it's cash. The average credit card APR rate right now, it's over 21%. So that means if you carry a balance, you're paying ridiculous interest rates just to survive. A lot of people think, I'll pay it off when things get better. But that's the trap. Things don't get better. When you're giving banks a chunk of your paycheck every single month, things are not getting better, bro. You're working to pay for your past and not building your future. So what's the fix? If you're using credit cards for everyday expenses and you're mismanaging them on a day-to-day basis, it's time to hit pause. You need to freeze your cards or cut them up, cut them up completely. Switch to debit only and start paying down those cards aggressively using the snowball effect. You can use the snowball or avalanche method. Personally, I like the snowball method. So what that means is you're going to pay off the smallest debt first. It gives you that momentum and the motivation. Once you've knocked out a few, you can start believing everything's possible. Pause. But do what works for you. The key is just start. It's like every £1,000 of debt that you clear is basically a pay rise for your future self. So number 3, you don't track your money. Here's what's wild, right? People spend 4 hours watching TikTok videos about how to get rich, but they don't know where the last £200 went. Like, honestly, make it make sense. If you don't track your money, you're not broke by accident. You're broke by default. But at the same time, okay, it's not your fault completely because this stuff isn't taught in schools. Budgeting, saving, investing, it's not part of the system. And yes, why? It's because they want you working until 65. They want you dependent, set up to fail. So that's why it's on you to learn. And the sooner you do, the better. So what's the fix? Let's get into it. You don't need the fancy app. All you need to do is grab a pen and paper or use Google Sheets. Me personally, I used to track it in my phone notes. Now I've gotten so strict with my spending, I don't even need to write it down. I know where every penny goes, literally. But here's what you do. You track every single pound for 30 days. because honestly, you'd be shocked at where your money's leaking. Once you see it, you can plug the hole. And once that's done, you can start building an emergency fund, saving for long-term goals, investing in stocks, property, or crypto, whatever fits your plan. So number 4 is you're waiting for the right time to start. We've all said it. I'll start saving next month. I'll start that side hustle when things calm down. I'll invest money when I have more money. But the truth is, there's no perfect time. Honestly, there's no perfect time. Life's not going to hand you a free week to get your life together. And too many people are stuck in preparation mode, watching videos, buying books, making plans, but taking no action. That hesitation, obviously, that fear, that's what's keeping you broke. So let's get into the fix. You need to start small, and you need to start today. Open a separate savings account away from your main account. And like I always say, pay yourself first every payday. Even if it's just 10 or 20 pounds, pay yourself first. And if you're consistently tempted to spend, stay out of the malls. Unfollow any clothing brands, just so you don't have any impulse buying. Okay? Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. So number 5 is you're not learning skills that pay you more. This one might sting, but it's the truth. If your job hasn't given you a raise in 2 years and you're not learning a new skill, you're just choosing stagnation. Honestly, you got to understand the job market, it doesn't care about effort. It cares about value. If your current skill set can be easily replaced or outsourced, your income will stay flat while the cost of life just keeps rising. That's how people fall behind quietly. I actually did I did a whole video on this, why it's important to work on your skills. Go check it out. But the fix, you don't need a degree. You need a valuable skill. It's like skills pay the bills, let's be honest. But that could be graphic design, copywriting, social media editing, web design, just learning a trade like plumbing or an electrician, hairdressing, literally anything that pays. But what we need to do is we need to pick one and learn it for 6 to 12 months. And you'll separate yourself from 90% of people are still complaining about the price of eggs. Because trust me, the egg prices ain't coming down anytime soon, guys. So focus on that valuable skill. Look, being broke in 2025 isn't always your fault. But staying broke is a choice. Yes, the economy is tough. It is tough. But so are you, my guy. So are you. You don't need a lucky break. You need discipline, direction, and action. So you need to cut the lifestyle inflation, stop depending on credit, you need to start tracking your money, take action, but most importantly, learn something that pays. So guys, if this hits home, do me a favor, hit the like button, drop a comment with the point that hit you the hardest, and subscribe. And we'll see you soon. We out.